Hello, everyone, and finally we can fill in that little gap we've had in our X-Men movie commentaries. Today, we're bringing in three new people in our X-Men commentary. Say hello, three new people.
Three new people.
Actually, Dwibs Pedro was in the first X-Men movie commentary.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Okay,
in
two
any
new-
of those.
Yeah, okay, two new people plus one that missed out on content. But anyway, welcome to the movie that helped to prove to Hollywood once again that R-rated superhero movies can be profitable as long as they're good. Welcome to 2016's Deadpool, starring the new co-owner of Wrexham Football Club, Ryan Reynolds.
My God, has this movie been for a lot of it was for a lot of development hell. Back as early as 2013, footage from this movie had leaked, and it was in constant danger of being canceled here and there. Ryan Reynolds really had to pull some own rank of his own just to get this movie out.
That's probably how he bought Wrexham.
Pretty much after X-Men Origins Wolverine, Ryan Reynolds still had the idea of wanting to play officially Deadpool, and I don't know in which specific year he made a pitch of sorts, a small sequence that will actually be incorporated in the movie we're about to see, where Deadpool is standing on a highway, then jumps in a car and kills everyone. And everybody fucking loved that. So everybody speculated that it wasn't a matter of if, but more like when the movie would have happened. And lo and behold, it happened in 2016, early 2016.
And Ryan
Valentine's
Reynolds,
Day specifically.
And yeah, so there were actual billboards advertising the movie as a romantic comedy.
and yes, this
Absolutely hilarious.
the most important thing though is that this movie finally ended the Ryan Reynolds superhero movie curse, because up until this point, Ryan Reynolds could not land a good superhero movie to save his life. Like, let me put it like this.
Green Lantern's one movie. Come on now.
There's
Wait,
also
X-Men
Blade
Origins.
Trinity. And
Also,
X-Men
John-
Origins,
He
Desi.
was in the Blade movie?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure
The
there's
worst.
something else that we're missing. But the point is that this was also revolutionary, quote unquote, because it was, I think, the first, if not one of the first in a very long time, of superhero R-rated movies. I think it was like a decision of Fox deciding if doing or not, but you will see. You'll see. I just started.
So all right, I'll actually get into the credits as we go on. Okay, so start before the 20th Century Fox logo in 3, 2, 1, click. So yeah, this movie was directed by first-timer Tim Miller and written by the scribes of Zombieland, Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick. And this was actually one of the more cheaper superhero movies at the time. It only cost $58 million, and it made $782.6 million.
Talk about peaking at your first movie, considering what he made after. Ugh.
Well, what did he make after?
Either at the Terminator Dark Fate.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Terminator movies peaked after 2.
Well, I wouldn't
Well,
like that,
let me put it like this. Dark Fate is arguably a contender for worst Terminator movie of all time. And trust me,
Wasn't James Cameron involved in that?
it was, but James Cameron sucks. But James Cameron sucks now too, anyway. So
Yeah, let's have creative credits while we're
Rob
at it.
L.
okay,
Yeah.
so
Rob Liefeld. So yeah, Cheery, let's do the usual game. So Deadpool was created by, this time surprisingly not Stan Lee, but instead
There's actually been a
Rob
few of those, so I was wondering if it was a
there's
trick
no way
question.
there's no way Stanley would actually create a character like Deadpool.
This was instead one of Rob Liefeld's children, and it shows because in his early appearances he was,
A British villain.
yeah. His first couple of appearances, Deadpool was basically without personality. We discussed this in Spider-Man Shattered Dimension, the run, but basically got improved later on with the quirkiness of the four-wall breaking. Also Hello Kitty.
Why not?
Oh, that's some
A CGI character.
so you probably have heard the tale of this movie, but let me, of course, remind you how it began. Everyone believed that Ryan Reynolds was. So the story of this movie actually begins with everyone's favorite X-Men Origins Wolverine. Why? Well, because if there's one thing people agreed, it was that Ryan Reynolds was the perfect guy to play Wade Wilson, codenamed Deadpool. He had the snark, the moves, the attitude, and everything to play him. And then they screwed it up. And then
Even
there's-
to the point, Jova, that in the same movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine, when the actual Deadpool shows up, he's not even played by Ryan Reynolds anymore.
yeah.
Directed by an overpaid tool.
So
So, hey,
yeah.
props for honesty.
So
Not, that joke is so interesting in hindsight.
Wade?
You okay, dude?
So we begin with Deadpool in a taxi.
Great. And yes, you're.
I should mention this is actually my birthday pick. I probably should have said that
Happy
earlier,
birthday,
but,
I guess.
In case you need to know, Shiro, you don't really need the past X-Men movies to know about
I've
these
seen
ones. So.
both movies.
Oof.
there are a few references to them, but that's about as much as it gets.
well, that's the
And
thing.
there you go.
There's no Hugh
Sorry.
Jackman, no Patrick Stewart, no Kelsey
No
Grammer,
James McAvoy.
no
I will say. Sorry, go on.
no, well, now he's known as Elliot Page, but you know.
Oof. But one cool thing about the movie that I will say almost immediately is how clever it is to implement Deadpool's quirks. Because when you think about Deadpool, at least if you're a comic fan, you immediately think something like the fourth wall breaking, the boxes that Deadpool talks with, the constant self-awareness. And while it is present in the movie, it's in a more, ironically enough, subtle way. This is actually a movie that is focused more on, Deadpool as an actual character rather than just a meme spewing machine. It's still a present, but it's more the complementary stuff, which is something that I actually like about this movie.
There's a certain class to Deadpool you need to get, and that's where the other half of his character comes in. While Rob Liefeld was the guy who created the character, good old talented writer Gail Simone is the one who made Deadpool into the Deadpool that people know and love. Gail Simone is a pretty awesome writer in the comic book industry, so yeah. Why do I mention her? She is the one who made Deadpool the fourth wall, wisecracking jackass that we know and love these days.
Oh, also this counts as a Christmas movie, somehow, I guess. Well, it's in the period also, Adventure Time Club.
Time cameo. What?
So yeah, technically speaking, we're starting in medias res.
Yeah, basically, we're gonna learn how Deadpool got into this mess
From a British villain.
So first we have the supposed transporter replacement, Ed Skrein.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. Believe it or not, this is an actual character from the Deadpool comics called Ajax, or Francis Penny. But he appeared, I think, it was like a one-shot villain from 2011, and that's it. So... So yeah, unlike in the original, also, I think it was, I forgot what brand of car was that, but... oh shit. But unlike in the original continuity, comic continuity, where Deadpool was part of the Weapon X program, explicitly tied to Wolverine, in this case, it's a bit different because, after Days of Future Past, things got a bit scrambled. Yes, daily reminder also for those who followed us since Days of Future Past, that Mystique not killing Stryker leads also to this.
Well,
Okay,
yeah.
one thing I should mention.
Alright, there you go. This is a remade version of the pitch.
Alright, one thing I should mention, actually. The whole Deadpool forgot his ammo bag thing. Because of the low budget of this movie compared to other superhero movies, they couldn't really do a whole lot of bang, crash, wallop stuff like you normally get. So to write that stuff out, they had him forget his ammo.
Dwibs, I think we're getting interrupted.
Clever.
Smooth.
So, does this take place in the Days of Futures Past timeline?
Yes, although it's explicitly something on the sidelines, so it doesn't interrupt the main plot of the
it's
X-Men.
like,
Yeah,
okay, how do we make sure people forget about that Deadpool scene?
Yeah, okay.
Reboot the universe.
Okay,
Pretty
okay,
much.
okay. Let me...
Wait, hold on. Let me put it like this. They put more effort into rebooting the universe for Deadpool, but completely forgot about Emma Frost was an X-Men Origins.
I know, right? Well, it's like I said, the X-Men films, even though they did try to be an expanded universe, kind of sucked at continuity, especially in regards to Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix. Oh. But yeah, I will say this.
The music for this... Okay, interesting thing about the music for this film. This film was scored by Junkie XL, although interestingly enough, in this movie, the more comedic one, he goes by his real name, Tom Holkenborg, in the credits.
I guess that's the joke.
And yet for BVS, the more quote-unquote serious one, he goes by his Junkie XL pseudonym.
Like Tia said, maybe that was the gag.
It's kind of like how in the South Park products, like the movie or the video games, they made the score super serious in order to, reflect the situation. Oof.
That's gonna leave a mark.
I know, yeah. The benefits of being... Here's one benefit of being a cheaper movie. The studio won't meddle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that always a benefit of just being cheaper, though? Because, a studio might meddle just to be,
fortunately in this case, the most they did was just tell them, you can't do this kind of thing with the budget you have.
But yeah, you'd be forgiven for not knowing for sure if this is even a part of the X-Men continuity, Dej, because, like we have mentioned in our past X-Men commentaries, not really much connection to them here. Like, hell, I didn't even know if for sure if Colossus was supposed to be a part
there's the X-Mention.
Over there's your proof.
Well, yeah, sure. However, what is different is that Colossus is here. Remind you, we never ever see Colossus in the post Days of Future Past one.
He looks and sounds considerably different.
Not only that, but there's
recasting is for.
Not only that, but there's this other mutant who, again, we never see in the movies. This is part of why it does feel confusing. It's because, they don't really do that. Okay, I won't say they don't do a good job, but it feels like they're not really trying to connect this to the X-Men universe.
Guys, apparently your house blowing up builds character.
You're saying that?
Here, Deadpool takes place in modern times. The post Days of Future Past stuff, that takes place in the past.
Dark Phoenix takes place in the 90s, I think. So, the closest in continuity this is to is the New Mutants, of all things.
Like I said, in a way...
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said...
Did that ever come out in theaters?
Yeah, it
Go on, Drover.
But yeah, Dej, you pretty much brought up my point, though. Sure, yeah, they're technically in the same timeline, but they're divided so thoroughly that you might as well just have them be completely different, separate continuities, because they never really bridged the gap here and there. Also, shouldn't it be the Jean Grey School of Mutants if this is technically in the same timeline? Since at the end of Dark Phoenix, it was actually the Jean Grey School, Dwibs.
Oops. But, Colossus here is voiced by Stefan Kapišić. Sorry, I'm pronouncing it terribly, probably.
From what I understand, unlike the other X-Men movies in which Colossus showed up, this one is actually Russian.
Yeah. And the girl next to him that we saw in the shot is played by Brianna Hildebrand, and is a Negasonic teenage warhead.
So,
from what I understand, Fox had to do a trade with Marvel Studios to get the rights to that character.
If I recall correctly, yes.
Speaking of which, as of the time of this recording, Deadpool 3 is being made by Marvel Studios. So, yeah, it looks like Deadpool is definitely going to be a part of the MCU. I mean, the writing was pretty much...
it does make sense to do the kind of character.
they'll probably start with Deadpool making some kind of joke. Oh, so I'm part of this universe or something along those lines.
And considering how this movie and the sequel, yeah, 6. But considering how these first two movies, like you yourself mentioned, were tied to the X-Men movies, but we barely feel like it because we're so disconnected. I think they can do pretty much the same with the MCU in some capacity.
Well, with the MCU, I see more likely he'll actually be directly connected to the MCU because there's already loads of speculation for there being a Spider-Man and Deadpool flick, or Deadpool, of course, hooking up with the Avengers. I mean, let's not forget, Deadpool was in fact an Avenger at some point, so...
He was supposed to kill the Skrull Queen, but... Oh.
Okay, Dad, so let me put it like this. If you've heard of a Marvel character who's a superhero, chances are they've been an Avenger. Hell, sometimes even if they've been a villain, they may have been an Avenger.
So did Ryan Reynolds... sure, whatever. Did Ryan Reynolds also did the stunts? Or did he add a stunt double?
No, to be fair, it's not like he would need to, because there's always a suit covering the face anyway, so it's not
true. It's a lot easier to hide a stunt double.
TMI.
Well, I guess the question is like, well, did he have a stunt double, though?
It depends on the actor. I don't think... I mean, is Ryan Reynolds known for being, like, incredibly physically fit in action-wise? I'm not entirely sure of that. I mean, we know Tom Holland did a lot of his stunts even in the suit for the Spider-Man films, because he's actually very athletic.
Shit.
He's a professional dancer, so yeah.
Not just dancer, Shiro. He's also very athletic in terms of other areas aside from dancing. But I don't think Ryan Reynolds has that. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever heard anything about Ryan Reynolds being very fit physically.
I mean, he maybe. Let me check and see.
Also, Tio, this is Deadpool. TMI is kind of the territory that we're...
So,
and yeah, this narration is to basically shoo away everyone who went here just expecting a romantic comedy.
So here's one interesting thing that we have to thank this movie for: the way his eyes are animated, because that helped with Spider-Man.
Yes, it did.
That helps with what? Sorry.
How they animated Spider-Man's eyes.
His eyes.
So what did the people who made the Poe comic use that as inspiration or something?
More than likely, because people
like
how animated that
was. It's kind of fitting, seeing as how Deadpool for quite a bit of time was mistaken for Spider-Man.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. So, about Ryan Reynolds doing his own stunts. As of 2017, he doesn't, because of doctor's orders.
Ooh.
So he previously did, I'm guessing, but now he can't.
Apparently he did beforehand, so...
Oh.
Basically, it was because he had had some bad injuries doing stunts before. He broke a couple of vertebrae in his neck. So, ever since then, he is not allowed to do his own stunts here. So,
fair enough.
So I think...
Well, I mean, with Deadpool, it's a lot easier to hide anyway, so...
Yeah,
Anyway,
like Pedro mentioned.
So
Yes,
I think, so for the first Deadpool, I think he did do his own stunts, yes. But with Deadpool 2, no. He had a team of stuntmen doing that for him.
Yeah.
So,
my god, he's eating that.
Dude, no.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, Brian, you're co-owner of a football club. You can't go around doing that. It would hurt Wrexham's image. Okay, obviously this was before he bought Wrexham, but still.
But yeah, the advantage also being R-rated is that there can be a lot of Tarantinoing, as it's called. Basically, characters talking a lot about potentially nothing before something fucked up happens, like extreme violence. Basically, what Skip Woods has tried to do for decades and failed miserably at it. Yeah.
Goodness.
How nice.
Adorable. See, there's your romantic comedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, who says romance has to be that kind of romance?
True, yes, there is certainly romance and comedy in this movie.
But yeah,
See, they didn't lie.
one thing that they actually tried to do for the character of Wade is that before becoming Deadpool, because of the mutation, they actually still have been doing a thing that he tends to do in his free time, quote unquote, but is explained better in one comic where he saves a suicide victim. Essentially, in the comics, the thing that he does is a sort of a cleanup job of a request that the Avengers tend to get. Essentially, like, for example, stop this pimp, or, destroy this drug cartel. Something that normally the Punisher or Daredevil will do, but the Avengers, cannot because they have bigger fishes to fry. So basically, Deadpool snoops in for the correspondence and, cleans the job. And Wade has kind of done that, re-establishing shot.
Yeah, that's the thing
That's
about
cool.
Deadpool. While he is known widely as a dick, he still does have a heart.
And here's one of Wade's major supporting characters, Weasel, played by, in this case, T.J. Miller.
Who won't be appearing after Deadpool 2 after
Because shit happened.
Yeah.
and that's all we'll say about that.
I have no
But yeah,
idea what you're talking about.
It's also a cool thing because Weasel actually was very prominent in the early issues of Deadpool solo run. So again, this movie is paying respect also to that.
Kudos. Honestly, the sad thing is that this is probably the best thing we got post Days of Future Past. Well, okay, and by that I mean the Deadpool franchise as a whole. Because after Days of Future Past, we got X-Men Apocalypse, which was lame at best, X-Men Dark Phoenix, which absolutely sucked, New Mutants, which, from what I've heard, is
Was
not
okay.
good.
It was okay, Java, but nothing spectacular, and had a couple of moments that could have been reworked. So
Now, granted, there was also Logan, yes, but Logan is like,
besides, Logan was kind of inspired, in the making by this too.
Yeah.
Hello.
He's still breathing.
Damn,
Aw.
yeah.
But
Come
can we have a
on.
bar fight where someone dies?
Yep, and we have a sort of a title drop because, again, in tune with the comic, Wade gets his superior identity from the teacher of Deadpool.
Sister Margaret's Deadpool. Get it?
Yep.
Fate tends to be quirky towards people with funny names, just saying.
Yeah.
And yeah, basically, in his own circle, Wade Wilson is actually quite a popular guy. Outside of the circle, not so much.
Yeah. Oh. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. Vanessa is played by Morina Baccarin. Let me check what has she done. Oh, she voiced Talia al Ghul in Batman Bad Blood. Cool.
Neat.
Was that before or after this film?
Right before it. Or the same year, actually.
Huh. Superhero movie guy.
So yeah, it was also around this time that that a lot of people were under the understandable impression, me included, that we'd only get films like this from Fox because Disney would never touch a film like this in a million years.
And
Yeah, they
then,
did. It's called Pulp Fiction.
yeah, that's
Well,
the
that was under their own label, and it was.
It's still technically a Disney.
Oh,
movie.
okay. Let's just have a point. People are definitely mistaken when they think Disney won't do an R-rated flick. No. See, what Disney does is that they put an R-rated flick underneath a different title or company of theirs.
I mean, it's the ideal strategy, a shell company, so your major one does not get tarnished.
They
It's the
used
same-
Touchstone mainly for those.
The common masses aren't even aware that Touchstone or Hulu is owned by Disney and stuff like that.
I
And,
know.
like,
Some people don't
it's
even
the
know
kind of
that.
strategy. It's the same kind of strategy that back in the NES days, companies created shell companies to bypass Nintendo's 5 games per year limit. Like for example, the first TMNT game on the NES was published not by Konami but by Ultra Games, aka a shell company that Konami created to bypass the fact that Nintendo only allowed third parties to release 5 games per year.
It's wicked and dastardly genius.
All those tokens get them a Voltron ring.
I mean, why not? They look cool.
Cooler than the movie.
I know nothing about Voltron, so I will take your word for it.
Voltron, I'm sorry.
Voltron, sorry.
No. We're talking about Voltron. Did you
Okay,
know?
Okay.
Three minutes.
Alright.
Hey, 23 seconds can't go past that quickly.
And now time for a sex montage. Yes.
To the tune of Calendar Girl.
I mean, well, I've seen worse, so why not? And appropriately, they're themed after the festivities.
Go figure. Happy Valentine's Day indeed.
I mean, makes sense.
That's kind of like the Valentine's Day jackpot.
Yeah. This is basically the hey, we're R-rated.
Oh, this one.
So is he being pegged? Oh.
Come on, Ryan, you will enjoy it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You see, Reynolds was in a film about vampires.
What movie? Oh, right.
Blade Trinity.
Blade Trinity.
I know, sorry.
It figures. He finally gets into a Blade film, and it was the worst of the three.
Hey, at least he got to fight Triple H.
Woo.
What, you guys don't remember that scene?
No, I do.
I mean, it has to be appropriate for the season.
Well, yeah.
See, this is totally also a Christmas movie.
Oh, yeah, that is your color, isn't it, Wade?
Yeah, amazing. Wonder what the full picture would be brought together.
Sometimes it's best left to imagination, Dwibs.
Deadpool 3? I don't know.
Maybe.
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind Vanessa as Lady Deadpool.
So
Why
yeah,
not?
basically, Vanessa. Vanessa thought she meant, oh, you're gonna stick out by you know what.
Sure would be a shame if something bad happened to you, lovely couple.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I know, right? God, that would suck.
Well, this is a Marvel property. There's got to be some dead relative somewhere.
Or,
Abandoned parents.
well, I mean, there were abandoned parents.
Let's just say, okay, Dwibs, let's just say that it's a good thing that the movies of Deadpool have not tied into his parents because, one event in the comic tried to address that, and it was very stupid.
All right.
Let's see what's here on a Polaroid.
Uh-huh. Not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what's going to be
Which
the next
means,
one?
yeah,
Oh.
Bonk.
Yep.
Yep.
Cancer. Lots and lots of cancer.
Yeah, just when his life seemed to be on the up and this happens.
Oh. Yeah.
Sound advice, but yeah.
His iconic ninja blades.
Are they made
Thanos.
out of adamantium?
What?
Actually, I think it's carbonadium. Sure.
Wow. Villain defeated already. Well,
He's
that was
okay.
Deadpool.
That's the entire joke of the movie, but Francis is a really shitty villain when you get down to it.
So he's like an MCU villain.
I argue even worse.
He's more
A DCEU villain.
Maybe it's more like considering the timing, it could have been seen as a reference to that.
Ooh.
Look what you did to me.
I don't even know who you are. The F is silent. That's a clearly fake sword. Oh no.
What, hit them in the balls?
That's Hi. No, we're trying to forget that. Shush. Please move that away. Yeah.
His
Thank you.
most prized possession.
No, whammers.
I guess.
I anticipate. Shiri.
Hmm?
So you said your experience of the X-Men movies was minimal.
Yeah, I don't care.
What movie specifically have you seen?
Couldn't tell you.
Have you seen this one before?
I said earlier I've seen both these movies.
Ah, okay. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. But if there's one thing that can help prove Jova's point, is that people like Shiro, who haven't really seen any of the other X-Men movies, can watch these ones and not miss out too much. I mean, it would help your experience a bit if you had, like me. But if you hadn't, it's not a big deal.
I think there's
always the internet if you actually want to look that stuff up anyway.
There are some inner jokes that you'll probably get best, but yeah, you really don't need to see any other X movies to get what's going on. Though I will say, having watched X-Men Origins Wolverine did make that scene in Deadpool 2 all the more satisfying from what I've heard. I mean, I haven't
Oh, yeah.
seen the movie yet, but I have seen that scene.
Deadpool 2 is actually the movie that I
only
regret
saw
the
the
most not
ending
seeing in
credits scene
theaters.
a couple weeks ago.
Mostly bad luck, but I really actually wanted to see it in theaters.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, well, yeah.
Why is TJ Miller in this movie sounding like he's just woken up from bed?
That's what
TJ
he always
Miller.
sounds like.
TJ Miller has an interesting range here and there.
It's weird, but in other roles where I heard him, it doesn't sound like this sleeping.
He typically plays the hipster dude archetype, like he did in
Yeah.
the
This
Earth.
actor looks oddly familiar.
Let me check.
Wait, that's not that out of place in the Marvel Universe.
Jed Rees.
Yeah, I went to somewhere in Africa and had the only really cool scene of the whole of X-Men Origins.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Sure, we should go watch that movie.
Apparently, he has an extensive career since the early 90s, but I can't recognize any major roles that I'm familiar with. Apparently, he was like random street NPC in GTA 5.
How nice.
And we're using the Wolverine DNA, but we're not technically mentioning because we reality.
Is this a prediction of the meeting between Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Feige or something?
Well, okay. Tio just bring up a good point, though. This is, again, why, for a long time, even I didn't know that this was in the same continuity as the current X-Men movies. Like, they have some clear shots to tie it in. Like, hey, maybe mention the whole Weapon X thing, which is what created Deadpool.
I mean,
but they don't
I
really.
mean, there was the X-Mansion scene earlier.
Not just what Joe is mentioning specifically tied the Weapon X program to Wolverine, and to be fair, at the end of Days of Future Past, the timeline was also changed because Stryker took Wolverine way earlier than usual and lost him in Outlay Mountain.
Well, it was actually Mystique who took him, but
this was
and apparently she left him to rot away in that prison if Apocalypse is anything to go by.
Yes, Dwibs?
This was the first movie after Days of Future Past.
But yeah, I mean, yes, I get it. We see the Xavier School here and there, but again, for all I know, this could just be a different Xavier School. And again, if Dark Phoenix is anything to go by, this is a different timeline because it should be called the Jean Grey School.
Or, hear me out, Jova.
They planned it badly.
They probably wrote this movie first, had no plans for Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix, so they just was no communication between teams.
You know what could have easily have solved it, Dedge? If they just hadn't named the school the Jean Grey School in the end of Dark Phoenix. Like, I get not planning well in advance, but don't write something that clearly is going to leave plot holes.
Who cares? The universe is pretty much dead anyway.
Anyway, without any options left, Wade has to go to this British villain guy.
Tio, just because he's British and in a superhero movie doesn't mean he's the bad guy always.
Yeah, let's jump back to present time.
True. Yeah, Dad has a point. Captain Britain's actually a superhero.
Even though people hate him.
Context.
I don't know, Dad. I think they ate more Black Knight, and to be fair, he zigzagged a bit between the hero and villain.
Wait. Isn't Britain's ability basically he gets stronger the more he boasts his ego?
No, actually.
That's a stupid name.
It is.
That's the point, actually.
But it's gloriously stupid.
It's like, even by comic book standards, that's
Is
really
that hey, well, I mean, Fox did trade for that name with
Eagle
Marvel
the Living
Studios,
Planet
so-
for having sure that James Gunn could use him in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Yeah,
And you know what? It was worth it. Definitely
Absolutely.
worth it.
Remember Quicksilver?
Colossus, you're in the wrong movie. Yeah, about that.
Honestly, all things considered, they're taking this relatively well considering how much he murdered the crap out of them. And that's another thing about why I'm wondering if this is really supposed to... Oh.
That's also a good question. I forgot. Which city are we in? Let me check if the...
We're in City.
Cool.
How original.
Oh my god, you know, now that I think about it, if this is in the same timeline as Logan, that means that Wade's gonna die eventually.
Or knowing he probably just retires.
And he escaped.
You know...
Ow.
Yeah. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, Colossus is really tough.
Oof.
Yeah, see how he's a freaking T-Rex. Now he's broken his foot.
Moron.
Yeah, just a bit.
Ow. Now, see, even Negasonic Teenage Warhead thinks it's funny.
So technically, can Deadpool die?
Yeah,
Yes,
see,
he
even
can.
Deadpool knows about it. We're not sure which professor he's on about. Patrick Stewart's or James McAvoy's.
Also, Jova, I don't know. Did the curse that Thanos put got reversed?
Oh, yeah. Okay, basically, here's how it goes. Deadpool did die at some point, came back, because of course. Thanos eventually then put a curse on him to make it so that he could never die, so he couldn't steal Thanos' girl-to-be, Death. But eventually, Thanos did revert... Okay, basically, long story short, Thanos did eventually revert the curse because he was just sick of Deadpool at that point.
Okay, I gotta say, for a movie with not much of a budget for a tentpole superhero movie, Colossus doesn't look that bad.
Yeah.
I guess they knew, where to spend the money on the CGI.
Limitations and
So
It's also kind of funny.
With Dark Fate, where they had a lot more.
It's also kind of funny, different company. Also, it's kind of funny considering how the Deadpool video game, the actual Deadpool video game, the consistent running joke is that High Moon Studio doesn't have enough budget for the explosions.
limitations inspires innovation.
Oh, come on, I don't think it was that horrible.
It was a god awful. Just
Which movie were we talking about?
Look, we didn't know how lucky we had it until Zack Snyder came along.
Also, Myro, hi. That was a cameo.
It was such a waste. It was such a waste of a good director.
I'm surprised they put a Marrow cameo of all things.
Huh.
I guess someone really liked Marvel's Capcom too, I guess.
Who blames them?
Let me check if it's confirmed or not. Yeah, there we go. It's confirmed. Okay.
Hi.
Okay, this is instead Angel Dust. She's played by Gina Carano. Oh. Oh, she was in Fast and Furious 6.
Wait. Is this the MMA fighter that was in The Mandalorian?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
as Cara Dune.
Oh.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like her.
So yeah, just like we mentioned, instead of using the Wolverine's DNA to experiment on people, here they literally just torture people until their mutagen actually develops. I don't even know how that works.
It's a movie.
It's not even-
Let's
the-
put it like this: desperate. If you're desperate, your body will react to something.
I guess the closest I could find as a reference is the origins of the mutants in the Ultimate Universe, which is similar to this, but not quite.
It's supposed to be instinct.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's another story that had that, but I can't remember. Sky High, maybe?
Oh, Sky High. That was a good movie.
So yeah. So much for it being a romantic comedy.
Yeah.
I like how he got him to look.
Kevin Feige. Actually, I already made that.
Because he's British.
Oh my.
Yay, time for another montage with Mr. Sandman. Well, they certainly don't lack creativity.
Isn't this kind of
Yeah.
like messed up that they're doing this to a guy who has cancer?
All to save his life.
Well, I mean, they're the bad guys. So. I do kind of like a line that Ajax says a bit later. That's one way to keep your spirits up, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah. But how long's it been actually since Wade
Entered.
entered the institution?
Wait, who's this guy supposed to be again?
I don't think it's important.
Oh. Wow, he actually knows his name now. Francis. Oops.
It's British, it makes sense.
Francis Freeman.
That's his stick.
You wouldn't dare!
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, it's Skip Woods.
Put him in the Nemesis program.
Kinda, I guess. So yeah, it won't kill him, but it will. It's basically eternal torture, kind of like.
It'll kill him, bring him back, kill him, bring him back, kill him, bring him back, and so on and so forth. You know, this is kind of ironic considering as how he's going to be one of the few characters who probably retains his pre-Disney phase stuff. Now joining Marvel.
So wait, is this supposed to be an allegory for being working for Disney?
Welcome to the Empire of Joy.
Well, this was before that we got to that point, so I'm assuming no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, any Marvel property that Disney own, how they'll suck the life out of because #MCU bad.
Anyway. Oh dear.
Yes, the weekend.
This might hurt a bit. It's probably not going to do wonders for his cancer either.
What's heads up?
Yeah, that's the thing about Wade. His entire body underneath the suit is pretty much cancer.
It won't. The healing factor won't kill him, but it sure as hell won't heal him from the cancer.
Yeah.
No, it's a horror movie.
Oh my god, he looks.
He turned into Spawn.
I was about to say.
Isn't he getting a new movie?
Yes, by Universal supposedly.
Hopefully this one will be better.
Can't wait for the Image Cinematic Universe.
Okay, so we have Spawn and Spawn and Spawn.
And don't
Youngblood.
forget Youngblood and Destroyer Duck. That's a thing.
Crossover with Sonic. Again. And we'll throw in Heihachi Mishima in there and Link.
Hmm.
And the rest of the Mortal Kombat cast. It looked like an overcooked pizza.
I think they made that joke. They make that joke at some point.
Yeah, okay. To be fair, I mean, Ed Skrein does do a good job as the villain. To be fair.
I mean, that's exactly what is supposed to be on the tin. A British villain, so...
Ow.
Yeah.
You'll get your big action scene later.
No, she's getting ready for an MMA fight. Against Ronda Rousey.
So yeah, now he's just leaving him in the suffocate machine because he's a dick.
Because he's British.
You see, this is one of the British people going to hell for being British meme exists.
Oh. Time to MacGyver out of this. Come on. Come on.
There we go.
The
And
flame of hope.
And you know what happens to pure oxygen to pure CO2?
Oh,
Like a
boy.
match?
Oh, dear.
That-
Come on. Yeah. Yay!
Okay, maybe never have your matches around a CO2. What's up?
Ah, I knew I should have instituted a match ban.
I didn't remember I was filming for V for Vendetta. There we go.
Surprise! Fresh from the oven.
No, he looks like Freddy Krueger. This is Nightmare on Elm Street.
So it's it's kind of Freddy versus Jason.
Except
Huh.
not as bad.
I
Honestly-
like it as a guilty pleasure, so there's that.
I'm honestly fine with Freddy vs. Jason, and it could have
I mean-
turned out a lot worse.
Yeah, I agree on that. It could have been so much worse.
Did you know that they were actually at some point planning to have that film be PG-13?
Ugh.
God. I mean, look. There are some things
Ooh,
that can
German
work in
suplex.
PG-13. Those two are not.
I need to know, is Ryan Reynolds actually making for this?
I love the way that the shots actually censor Wade's, like with the flames and all.
Austin Powers style.
I guess you can say he has balls of fire.
Eh.
Ha, 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 ha.
Oof.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not gonna stop him.
So how can you kill Deadpool?
Oh, there are multiple ways.
There was one
A
time
very big stick.
where if his cut head was not reattached to his body in a long time, he could actually perish. But I think we have passed through that phase.
Oh no, the guy was trying to help him feel better at the hospital.
Dang. That is legit sad. Basically, one of the best ways to kill Deadpool is by turning off his healing factory, you know, completing or using complete disintegration, or you can cure his cancer. Yeah, believe it or not, curing his cancer actually is a way to kill him, in a sense. Why is that? Well, because if his cancer is cured, then that means that his healing factor is, well, no more, which makes him a lot easier to kill. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thanos showed up.
So theoretically, no wait. Well, could Wolverine kill him? We don't count that one.
Well,
Yes,
Jova. Well, Jova, actually, Deadpool will get to meet Thanos soon.
Yeah.
Granted, it was after lots of extensive surgery, but still.
Also, yes, Dedge, if he was strong enough, Wolverine can kill Deadpool. One of the ways to kill him is actually by cutting him into enough pieces that he is pretty much molecular dust.
Squirrel Girl actually managed to hurt him. There's that, but that's mostly
Squirrel
because
Girl's a
So you
jerk,
just
though.
need a giant blender. then.
Squirrel Girl is just OP as the narrator wants. So
In terms of legit beating him, there's Wolverine and Spider-Man.
of course.
Well, to be fair,
So,
Spider-Man
yeah.
has pretty much faced everyone, to even the point where he faced off against that giant triple-headed Sentinel when he was
Gnarly.
Captain Universe.
So yeah, because of his looks now, he feels he can't show himself in front of Vanessa. And Tim Miller actually did make a point to make sure that the makeup effect they use for post-powers Wade isn't just some typical Hollywood version of ugly.
Yeah, I get the idea that
It's
they
not
use
the
the same
thing.
thought. It's the same thought process that we used for the makeup for Freddy Krueger for the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot, in order to make him look a more quote-unquote realistic burn victim. I actually do wonder what parts of the script were improvised.
It's
I
gonna
mean-
be this avocado bit.
I should mention, actually, in terms of like films that Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick have written in the past, well, before this movie, I mean, I actually did like Zombieland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zombieland was a good film.
I haven't seen Double Tap, in case you want.
Neither have I.
So yeah, Deadpool's goal for the movie will be finding back Francis and force him to revert the process.
And
Pretty
then
straightforward.
And then commit necrophilia.
That would not be the weirdest thing Deadpool has done.
No. No.
Those are terrible.
There we are. That's how we came up with his.
We
that's
have
how
a
he came up
title,
with his name,
gentlemen.
Captain Deadpool.
Yeah, could work, but yeah, let's just stick with
Yeah,
that.
let's just go for Deadpool right now.
How about Dr. Deadpool?
Oh,
No.
by the way, this song was actually a fan song about the video game Deadpool a few years before, but Fox actually got in contact with Team Headkick, who made the song, and got them to rework the lyrics to fit the movie.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time for another montage, this time Deadpool perfecting the costume, actually, believe it or not, while searching traces of Francis. This is actually pretty cool. Yeah, the red kind of sticks out. Yeah.
And now we have Blind Owl. Is Blind Owl a character in the comics?
Yes.
Yep.
She's played by Leslie Uggams, I think that's the pronunciation.
So I have a couple. There's a couple of plot holes with this movie. How was Wade able to have a house and provide money for himself?
I think he's actually living in the backstage of the bar that Weasel has.
Oh, yeah, that more than likely.
And there's the costume.
Mm-hmm. Much more effective.
How was he able to make it? I mean, they show us, but it's like, huh, how'd he do that?
I love this bit. Yeah. It'll
mean,
take
it's
a while to
hilarious.
get there, though.
Oh, this bit. Well, he'll just shoot her.
Yeah.
It's gonna take a while to get there.
That just makes it all the more agonizing.
It was called some bony guy. Agent Smith.
So yeah, because the beds got blown up, they're on the floor.
I mean, Francis needs to rebuild his establishment somewhere else.
Oh.
Well, crud.
I never actually tried a Subway for so I think I have.
We don't have Subway here.
Really?
No, it's kind of pointless considering, you know, the circumstances, but for another time, Jova. Yeah,
I'm
me too,
dead
Deadpool.
on the
Me
inside.
too.
Well, at least he's accepting of his fate.
Oh, come on.
And that's how we got to the start of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let me check who plays.
Yeah. Let's fast forward to there.
I mean, we already seen this. So.
Wait, what was he doing there?
Oh.
Yeah.
What was he
Do you
doing
think it
there?
would have been better if they just started from the beginning instead of still doing the Tarantino thing?
I don't know. I like it, and it could be seen as a cool, you know, homage to medias res.
They could have just done it from the start, but this is one of the cases where it was done well enough that I'm fine with it.
Also, yeah, I checked. Apparently, according to Word of God, they said that in each take there was at least something improvised in some kind. So I get the idea that we did. Oh. Yeah, let's move on.
Wait, are we allowed to reference those?
I don't know. I mean,
We're
to be
doing
fair,
it anyway.
I think
Jova? Actually, Jova, Fox at the time did own the rights to the 60s Batman show, so yes.
Also remember, Joe, I forgot if it was just in the trailers or also this, but during the torture scene, Wade actually says the line, "You're so dark." Oh, actually, no, that's the "You're so dark" reassuring from the DC Universe is for the sequel. My bad. Oh.
Of course, that means 60s Batman.
Wade, the clothes are not comfy. Come on.
That's why I got the Blu-ray box set of 60s Batman, because I'll know for a fact Disney are going to throw it in their vault sooner or later. Back Tim.
If you're not actually accustomed of IKEA, you're probably not gonna get this joke, so I feel sorry for you.
Basically, all you need to know is that IKEA manuals, they suck.
And they love to name their furniture in creative ways.
How IKEA keeps getting enough business to stay in business is beyond me.
I don't know about you, Java, but it's actually quite popular and well received here in Europe. So I don't know what to tell you.
Duh.
Well, yeah, that's where they came from.
Well, there's your answer, then.
But even
Through my arm.
I mean, you know, considering how infamous their products are, I wonder why they keep
Actually,
getting business.
we really don't have a problem with them here.
What does Wade actually know about sandpaper dildos?
He
I
probably
mean, Dwibs, the
would.
better question is, would he not know about them? Oof.
So what is that going to be his first name now?
Sure.
But hey, you know, Deadpool's got good company at least.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, in terms of the, ooh,
Eesh. That's nice. Can you please not show that again? Dwibs, can you confirm that? Because he was talking Arthur.
what? No, but no, he's talking bullshit.
What, what? Is David Beckham
About
a
David
bad
Beckham
speaker?
acting.
Didn't
Yeah,
you do like
he's-
a skit with him or something later on?
Well, I mean, I think David.
Or was
Beckham
that
works
somebody
better-
else?
He may have.
I think that was David Beckham, but yeah, Beckham works better when he's either doing his football business or if he's in like a cameo, or if okay, a good cameo, or if he's well, you're just doing comedy skits like with you know, with Ryan Reynolds. Don't expect him to act serious though, like he tried to do.
So, of course, since the villain is British, we have the obligatory scene of a place that the main character is familiar with and has, loved ones getting trashed.
Then put up a door or something then.
Oh, shit.
But you see, the bartender has loyal patrons. Little, he's taller than you.
Notice how he did not mention the Blade movie Ryan Reynolds was in.
Well, I mean, that movie sucked, so.
And water is wet.
So what's the track record for Fox X-Men movies? Does the good outweigh the bad? Or
Okay, it all depends on your personal opinion.
the
Yeah.
first one?
Let me do a bit of a recap here. The first two are good, but they've kind of aged in the sense where you can tell that they were made during times
Oh,
when
no, I think
superhero
we're
movies
about to
were.
get... Yeah, Stan, what
Hey,
are you doing
Stan.
here?
Hi, Stanley. Yeah,
Stan,
in
no!
spite of Stanley having nothing to do with Deadpool, here he is.
Well,
doing,
it's a
doing the
Marvel
host
movie.
of sex show.
Yeah. Anyway, that's
If
to
only
recap.
Jack Kirby could see him. Go on.
I really would have liked that Stanley scene if people didn't say it like the week it came out.
What do you mean?
Because like the week the movie came out, everyone was just spoiling everything, posting clips and like that. Although they
Typical.
never talked about the villain.
Well, I mean, Francis feels like he's a parody of an early MCU villain in the sense where he's supposed to be the guy who doesn't get that much focus in this regard. I mean, hell, to the point where a certain scene kind of feels like it's come and done, but yeah. Anyway, here's a recap, Dance. The first two movies, they're good, but they kind of aged a bit badly in the sense where they definitely feel like they come from that era where superhero movies were embarrassed to be superhero movies, where they literally joked about having yellow costumes, only to later have yellow costumes themselves. The third movie has aged somewhat better, but it's still X-Men The Last Stand, so not the best.
Did you say it aged somewhat better than the first two?
Yes, in the sense that... Yes, it did. Anyway, moving on. X-Men Origins Wolverine is just garbage. Plain and simple. First Class, I'd argue, is actually the best of the X-Men movies. I was just as surprised coming back to that I found that one good.
Personally, in my opinion, the X-Men movies are 8 for 5.
Yeah, after, First Class, there's the Wolverine, which honestly is my favorite of the Wolverine-focused movies. It's pretty damn good, I'd say. After that, there's Days of Future Past, which sadly was not as great as I remembered it to be, but still an overall fun enough ride. Then things get tricky. X-Men Apocalypse is so... Let's talk about the mainline stuff.
Isn't it basically the first Power Rangers movie?
What, X-Men Apocalypse?
Yes, like it has the same
Which is
plot.
funny, because Fox also released that movie.
Well, I haven't seen the Power Rangers movie, but from what I've heard, it's a better romp than the Apocalypse movie, which is just...
No, because people made some comparisons between the two. It's like, besides Apocalypse...
Wrong person.
Sorry, honey, this isn't the Spider-Man movie
You're
trope.
not Wade.
Well,
Oh,
shit.
shoot. But yeah, X-Men Apocalypse is just dull, lame, and heavily unfocused. At best, mind you, it's kind of pretty bad. Then Logan was good. Not as great as it was hyped up to be for me, but still
I
good.
haven't seen it yet.
And then Dark Phoenix is just terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Dark Phoenix is pretty much all the problems of X-Men movies rolled into one giant turd. Bad continuity, bad character writing, not getting what the heck is up with Jean Grey's character, completely ruining Jean Grey's character, even
Again.
Most
One
people
of the
tend
more
to-
one of the more entertaining parts of that movie was the reshot ending.
Yeah. Yes, Pedro?
Most people tend to say that it should have ended at Logan, and I kind of have to agree.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's New Mutants. I have not
I said
heard
to
good...
Dwibs,
I have
I
not
said
heard...
to Dwibs that I feel New Mutants is a better conclusion than Dark Phoenix, but it's not saying much, sadly.
Slightly better.
I just find it hilarious that they had two chances to do the Dark Phoenix storyline, and they messed it up again.
Yep.
And I'll say this, Dez, Dark Phoenix is worse than The Last Stand.
X-Men 3 is probably...
All right, time to get. I think
All
it's
right,
time for
let's
another
get-
montage.
Let's get all the
Vengeance
guns together.
time.
How many guns do you have?
Can't
Yeah,
be too careful.
But
He's
Yeah.
American, you have to realize this.
Blessed be the Second Amendment.
damn, he's even got Wow, he didn't know Hugh Jackman was a weapon.
Remember, the Americans are all about guns. That's why they invented Conan. Sorry, not Conan. That's why they invented Rambo. You know.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
Let's just call that gun check while we're at it. I mean, props for honesty.
I mean, he probably would die if he came.
Yeah, even in the comic, Weasel is really just the tech guy. He doesn't really fight. Yay.
That was fast.
So yeah, we're getting our climax in what appears to be the remnants of a helicarrier. Interesting. What is this deepest lore you're going through?
AKA, this is as close as we can get to the MCU without getting sued.
3 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous, eh? Damn you. Didn't know you were a fan of Ghostbusters. So his superpower is that he's a sociopath?
I guess.
No, you seen
Anyway, back at the
Back at the X-Mansion.
Wait,
Yeah.
you seen Gravity Falls? That one government agent that didn't have the ability to laugh, even though he says that, and then he laughs when Dipper shows him something.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
You're being in a movie that people will like.
Well, yeah, this movie. Oh, yeah, this was a pretty mid-budget movie. He can't fit in the car.
Oh.
But hey, he's drinking something, so it's not all bad.
Probably shouldn't drink while, in a car. You probably get sick.
Technically, I'm sure Colossus could fit if he just turned back to normal.
Yes, indeed it could.
Oof.
We haven't got
That's,
much in the way of an effects budget, guys, so that'll have to do.
The why he doesn't just show up in his regular human
But-
form is
ooh,
also...
So yeah, apparently the taxi driver took advice from the lessons that Deadpool gave to him.
Yeah, he tied up his romantic rival in the junk.
Oh boy.
Or okay, the boot. Sorry, I should say.
Sure.
Yeah, he's doing that bit just to save face in front of the 2 X-Men. So yeah.
Oh, good, we're here.
All right,
Yay.
guys. Remember, okay, guys, get our guns out and have a white wallop of an ending scene.
With the more iconic song that this movie helped promoting, X gon' give it to you.
Yes, I'm sure that song won't be popular again after this year for any reason.
No, not
Well, we
at
are in
all.
December.
Yeah, even though this film
Yeah,
came
good
out,
timing for this movie, Dwibs.
even though this film came out in February, but
Well, it's Christmas.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Oh, really? That stock ringtone?
Oh shit.
No!
That's how you know everyone has an iPhone, because everyone looks up when they bloody hear it.
Part 2 got crushed.
Yeah.
Again, we can't do an action scene like that, so have this one.
Yeah, that's a reprise.
Yeah, hell, Colossus cost like half our blood effects budgets.
Alright, let's do this.
Douche.
He will. He's not kidding.
Wee.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, like
So that's her superpower. She can hit things.
Really, really hard.
Hey, at least she's courteous enough to let them do a tweet.
And also, she literally stole the powers from Cannonball. Which is funny considering. Oh,
Hey,
here we
look,
go,
she's
yellow
wearing
costume.
a yellow jumpsuit.
Yes,
There
just
you go, Bryan Singer.
yeah.
Aw.
Also, it's kind of funny considering how Deadpool's first appearance was in a comic that also involved Cannonball. So I get the idea they probably wanted potentially to have him at some point, but they couldn't for some reason.
For a moment there, Deji, it sounded like you were about to do an April O'Neil joke.
No. Look, the only problem with a lot of comic book movies is that they try to make it less comic booky as possible.
Yeah.
Why? Why are you embarrassed?
Well, I mean, some comic book tropes don't work in film.
Yeah, but the problem is when you
No,
over.
they can. And you just
Then
need to take
don't
them
adapt them. That's, the easy solution. What are you doing, Wade?
Case in point.
But he hasn't got a white flag, so. Wow, that works.
They actually believe that.
Well, oh, hey, he
Yeah.
tried.
Yay, time for the Zack Snyder slow-mo. See, Pedro, this fits also in our Zack Snyder retrospective.
Although it's sad that this slow-mo is actually more effective than the slow-mo in the actual Zack Snyder movie that came out not even a month later.
I don't know. This movie looks way too colorful.
Yeah,
True
again,
that.
again,
So, yeah, Dwibs,
again-
what movie was that you were referencing that came out the same year, specifically?
BVS. It came out not even over a month later than this.
Right.
After this
Yeah,
movie.
the movie that people were more anticipated for. Whoops.
Yeah. So yeah, it's.
What are you talking about, Deji? You just don't understand the death of Batman v Superman. Like, no, seriously, in the last year, ever since the Snyder Cut, there's been a lot of YouTube videos about how we don't understand the brilliance of Batman v
Dude, there
Superman.
were videos about that since day one.
Yeah.
I think Pedro means since the Snyder Cut, they felt like
They become a lot more prevalent.
More relevant.
Yes.
Oof.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, okay. This is actually something that needs to be referenced. Deadpool in the comics actually has a best friend called Agent Bob, which works for Hydra. Unfortunately, Hydra is a property of Marvel Studios, so this is the closest they could get.
It's okay. He only knocked him out, though. Wouldn't kill him.
Well, maybe that's something that they can actually fix with Deadpool 3, I guess.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Colossus, come on, what are you, 7?
Oh my
yeah,
god.
but he is also extremely gullible. Also, ouch.
You literally had her beat.
He spelled Francis.
Well, he did say he'd spell it. He did say he'd spell it out.
Alright.
You'll believe a Deadpool can fly after this.
Yeah. This one. Yeah, I wonder if aside from Colossus, that was the most expensive visual effect they could do. Yes. Motherfucking what? Oh, no.
Yeah.
And I don't remember her ever having any hidden powers.
Well, her character in the
about that.
comic later becomes a superhero called Copycat. So,
Oh, really? So
although
she's like that-
it's a bit weird because they basically retconned her existence. She was supposed to be the Domino that shows up in the same issues of the first appearance of Deadpool. It's complicated. It was done in the
So
Dark Age
what's
of
her
comics
power?
where, well, shape-shifting,
Oh, so she's Mystique?
Dad's
kinda.
there are plenty
But-
of shape-shifting mutants out there.
Although,
Yeah, but who's the first shape-shifting mutant you think of?
that is a
Morph.
point. It was also
Morph.
But hey,
Hello.
hey, that's actually pretty smart of Wade.
Mhm.
Give her at least a fighting chance of breathing.
Oh God, he was gonna turn her into Lady Deadpool, wasn't he?
also that it was done. The character was created in the early '90s, Dark Age of comics, where the idea was create as many characters with similar powers to the old ones.
Oh, so let's make everyone edgier.
Yeah.
Look at Onslaught.
Oh, Onslaught, you know.
Yeah, like you said, Joe.
Conceptually, he's
For
cool.
all the bad things that the 20th century X-Men movies did, at the very least we didn't do Onslaught.
Can
At
you
least it was
imagine?
that.
Can you imagine if Disney does it though?
I
You
mean,
guys don't like Onslaught?
Okay, Onslaught is one of the prime examples of interesting idea, but some of the worst execution ever.
I argue, Joe, it's one of those things that it sounds cool at first, but when we actually start thinking about it, the more you think about it, the more you realize it's just bad.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And look, I know that, they managed to make a decent movie
That's
out
gotta
of
hurt.
Ooh. Shake it off. Shake it off, Wade. Shake it off.
Well, hey, at least they remembered that holding the blade like that cuts you.
Yeah. Yay!
Yeah, I remember. She, despite that little cut in the booth earlier, she's still got a lot of oxygen deprivation.
Okay. The Wade vision is getting even weirder than usual.
Okay.
Well, he's got a knife through the brain.
I wonder who actually did the animation here.
Looks very Adult Swim.
Uh-oh.
And she broke her back.
Probably.
This is the perfect song to play for the final confrontation.
Ugh. Ah.
Please stop doing this to the song. And music in general.
If done right, it can be very effective.
Angel Dust, you may want to...
Yeah.
And I believe that is the last we see of Angel Dust in the movie.
No, not yet.
She survives this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She doesn't turn to dust.
Hey. Shit.
Ouch.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
It's so karmic.
Using the very thing that made him what he is, he shall save her life.
Even though it nearly suffocated her a bit.
See, guys, it's symbolic.
Just enjoy the ride. 'Cause it's gonna be one doozy of a drop.
You're not.
Metaphorically or physically, you are not.
Come on, Colossus, you can do it.
For Vanessa. Well, that's gonna be hard to explain to the authorities.
I'm sure Shield
Yeah.
will cover it up.
Hell, considering the
Yeah, listen,
continuity.
listen, listen.
I was about to mention that. Considering the continuity is now Drova, at this point, even LexCorp could be possible.
True. Yeah.
And who knows what Disney are
Maybe
gonna do.
maybe this is the weird continuity of the 70s, 80s, where Marvel and DC pretended their universe coexisted.
I'm still
Yeah.
waiting for them to bring Lex's supermarket back from Death of Superman, because that is I mean, where is my I mean, come on, we will never get a proper comic book representation of Lex Luthor unless he has a supermarket chain. I mean, come
Hey,
on.
look, the MCU sucked because Thanos didn't use his Thanos copter, okay?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and the Wonder Woman movie sucked because she didn't have an invisible plane. So
Don't worry, wait till the
Oh!
sequel.
Whoa. How are you still alive?
Well, I mean, one can't feel anything, and the other can heal from anything.
That probably felt cathartic.
Die.
Just die, please.
please.
So he can't feel anything, and he also has super enhanced strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ironically enough kind of like Baldur in the fourth God of War in that game.
So yeah, that was no cure.
What a shock.
I mean, in a way, if anyone could have seen this coming, it was probably just, disiluding himself.
Didn't think this through, did
Oh. Go fuck yourself in the ass.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Colossus? What are you doing? I was like, oh, for fuck's sake.
We really don't have time for this, Piotr. Come on.
You know, the funny thing is that Deadpool will kind of go on to become an actual hero come Deadpool 2.
Spoilers.
So, huh?
Spoilers.
It's kind of, the description of the movie.
Again, spoilers.
So blame the description of the movie then.
The movie's old anyway.
Yeah.
2 years is not. Wait, what year? What did it come out last year? Right?
2018.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah. Yeah, seriously. It got to the point where even Francis was like, oh, just kill me so I don't have to hear this anymore.
Oh god, that was 2018. Jesus. Why did it feel so long? Shorter? Oh my god, this quarantine needs to end.
Hopefully within the next 8 months, maybe.
The time from March of 2020 to now and beyond is gonna feel like it's all in a vacuum.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. Again, TMI.
Isn't that part of his character, though?
Yes.
He just wants her to understand the situation too entirely.
He's also bullshitting.
Called Deadpool.
So you had the romantic
Deadpool. It's not Spider-Man 1. And he's...
Oh my god!
It's Hugh Jackman!
Deadpool was Hugh Jackman all along!
How random.
Well, funny story, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman actually have a friendly Twitter. That actually leads me to wonder, is Hugh Jackman going to buy Chester... Is Hugh Jackman going to buy Chester just so he and them can continue their friendly
rivalry.
Twitter feud by using actual full league rivals as their pawn? Hi.
Aww.
See, it's a romantic movie. Again.
It really is.
See? Hey, it came out on Valentine's Day.
See, this wasn't false advertising at all. I don't know what people are talking about.
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, seriously.
Well then fuck off.
Oh my god, she said something nice.
Sure.
Well,
maybe in Deadpool 2.
Maybe an X-Force.
Nah.
now
Yeah,
he's
you're right. It's
spoiling.
just a marketing employee to keep Josh Brolin employed.
Of course.
Makes me wonder, do you think they'll bring over Cable along with Deadpool to the MCU?
I just want everyone to say, hey, he looks like Finn. No.
Of course, senseless caress.
Careless Whisper.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Of course.
Okay, there is a post-credit scene.
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
why
Exactly
not?
the most romantic location, though.
Well, here's the thing. This is an X-Men movie, and they typically don't have post-credit scenes.
Really?
I mean, Shuri,
No,
you know
X-Men
what they
movies
say,
usually
you
do
work
have
with what you have. Come on.
X-Men
Not to
movies
mention
had
Har-
post credits all the time. X-Men First Class had a post credit scene.
I said
The
don't
Wolverine.
typically have them.
Yeah, but around this time they typically did. Again, X-Men First Class, The Wolverine, Days of Future Past. Like, yeah.
Yay!
Not to mention, Shiro, romantic is subjective.
Maybe it puts them
Oh,
in the
also,
movie.
Ryan
There's
Reynolds was
somebody for everyone.
And Ryan Reynolds was the producer on the movie.
Yeah,
Like
he
I
actually,
said, he had
he
to pull
actually
rank
charged
to
that
save
for
this
himself.
movie.
Again, this was really one of his passion projects, and he wanted this baby to be released. So that's cool. I actually really wonder who did the animation for this, if it's credited.
Ryan Reynolds, he's hot.
He's hot.
She's hot.
Yeah, Morena Baccarin. It's crying, he's hottest because he's British.
So what, being British makes you more hot, apparently?
Well, I guess. Just don't look at the teeth.
Dwibs, Shiroi?
No comment.
Well, now.
That's one way to use it, I guess. Alright, if I recall correctly, yeah, the post-credit scene is after this credit, so we can give some final thoughts in the meantime, I guess.
Pedro, you go first.
It's a really good movie. It's funny, and the Ryan Reynolds is the one that really makes this movie. Like, he single-handedly carries this entire thing. Not that the other actors are not good, mind you. It's just that he's just so it's just so above everybody else in terms of, like, he's so perfect for this role that it's not even funny. So, and the fact that this is a passion project of his is very evident on screen. And yeah, and the story's basic, but it's more about the overall fun comedy and action anyway. So whatever. Yeah, I don't think it's the masterpiece a lot of people say, but I think it's a really good Deadpool movie in general. So good for that.
All right.
Tio.
Sure. Yeah, I really, really liked it. As someone who actually have seen Deadpool's, gradual transition in the comics, this movie could have been actually very, very worse if Ryan actually went through the low-hanging fruit, because this was only around at a time where Deadpool started feeling annoying to a lot of people, because it was starting to become very predictable. His comedy kind of cheap, and we had a couple of real good moments to shine. And yet, instead, Ryan actually understands the character to a T, and includes his traditional humor without being overbearing or way too common. Sure, there are maybe one line here or there that are, a bit obvious, but overall it works for the better. Notice that one big major thing that's lacking from Deadpool's repertoire is him reading his own caption boxes, which it makes sense because it is a movie format, so the comic book style wouldn't probably not have fitted unless we want to do something akin to Hulk 2003. But the less said about that, the better. But everything else is there. The forward breaking is there, but it's not obnoxious. The referential humor is there, but it's not obnoxious. This movie is mostly about Deadpool also as a character, and it showcases also his struggle, with what made him the way it is, which is cool. Again, it's something that a lot of story about Deadpool did not tackle, and this one instead does, which makes it a prop for the movie. So I'm glad it turned out this way, and the fact that people actually liked it. I checked in the meantime, apparently the animation was done by a French independent animator, so kudos to you, sir. The R rating is present, but I can actually feel the fact that this movie could have worked even without the R rating, potentially, in a sense of gore. Not necessarily the swear words. The swear words were there and probably necessary, in my opinion. But some of the potential more violent scene could have been easily reworked, and you can tell me they just put there because, we have the R rating, let's use it. Why not? But yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed this, and things are also about to get better from here, so here's also hoping that Deadpool 3 keeps the momentum going. Even Francis, the British villain, even as a mockery of traditionally bad, lame superhero movie villains, works the better, even though technically speaking would not make sense because he can also regenerate, and Deadpool just finishes off with a headshot. It's there just to make the point of the whole, also making the speech and the fact that he's wrong genre savvy. So there's that.
And a special thanks with tongue to Rob Liefeld
and Fabian Nicieza, the two creators, actually. I think Rob Liefeld actually cameos in the movie at some point. I'll check in the meantime, but I don't remember.
Yeah, no, Stan Lee does.
Yeah, like they put Stan in charge of a brothel.
By the way, I mean, the credit scene's coming up.
Yeah, but yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Cool stuff.
Alright, here we go.
With a citation to one of the first post-credit scene. Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was just like, right, this was the credits scene. I forgot.
But I am home. We all are.
Sure. Yeah, we can't.
Not going yet. I don't believe there's still a bit more.
All right, bye then.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Yay!
basically they pulled a power move there by pretty much explicitly teasing towards a sequel.
Keira Knightley. Yeah. The Deadpool. I'm in my house. I can do whatever I want.
You leave your garbage on the floor? Come on now.
He's watching the
yeah,
Dwibs.
Still, that's
I
all his business.
Okay, so we're officially done now.
Yeah,
I
that was-
checked.
All right.
I checked, and yes, Rob Liefeld does cameo in the movie. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. Cool stuff, and can't wait to see more. Next,
Okay, who hasn't gone yet?
I'll go
Me,
next.
Deji, you.
I'll go next.
Deji, you go next.
It's better a second watch than my first experience because I just thought the movie is okay. It's better watching it with friends, but yeah, it's okay. I understand. It's a fun movie. Probably not my favorite superhero / comic book film, but it has its moments. And there were I feel like there were only two genuinely good jokes. Like, I don't want to say that's humor is obnoxious. It's just yeah, it's fine. But the joke about the X-Men couldn't afford another theater, the studio couldn't afford another actor. That's funny. That's funny. And hey, Ryan Reynolds got his redemption.
Yes,
Pretty much.
yes, he did.
Yeah.
that's it, Edge.
For what little resources they had, they did a good job, and I am happy for everyone who wanted this movie to come out. And
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool. I'm done. I got nothing.
Okay, Jova.
Yeah, this is a good movie. It was definitely a much-needed redemption for Ryan Reynolds regarding the superhero genre. After not only Blade Trinity, but the terror of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Let me put it like this. It says something that, at the time, the best superhero movie he starred in was Green Lantern.
It still wasn't any good.
What about R.I.P.D.?
That's not a superhero movie.
Technically, yes,
Comic book film.
It's also aping
Wait,
up.
it is?
It's also
Yes.
aping. It's also aping up to what is called Men in Black, and that's I think a Marvel
Wait,
comic.
it's in the same universe?
No.
Unfortunately.
It's a parody of it. No, not parody, but something similar to it.
Anyway,
The official R.I.P.D. comic was made by Dark Horse. So go on, Jonah.
back to what I was talking about, though, but yeah, Ryan Reynolds definitely needed a superhero movie that actually worked, and he sure as heck got one. Thankfully, because he pulled rank here and there, and definitely got a lot of stuff to work here and there, this movie represents Deadpool at arguably his best. The right balance of fourth wall gags here and there, while still being a wholesome guy to people who warrant it anyway. Oh god, cause, well, if he figures that you don't warrant his niceties, he will screw you 6 ways to Sunday. Quite possibly literally. The humor is definitely on point. They definitely make up for the lack of their effects budget and, the lack of their ability to shoot some action scenes with some pretty good humor all around here and there. It's a movie that, well, it adapts to such here and there so that it can survive, and on a low budget they made a pretty damn good movie. One that will have a good sequel from what I've heard, but have not seen, so hoping that'll be fun when I give it a look. But yeah, it's a very good movie. And yet I still keep forgetting that it's part of the X-Men universe because it's really not connected that well. Next!
Shiri.
I enjoy it. I mean, it's still pretty good. I do prefer the second movie, though. This is my second time seeing this movie in particular, though. But yeah, it worked out pretty well. And that's really it, honestly.
I guess that just leaves me then. Yeah, I mean, I do applaud this movie proving that R-rated superhero movies can both be good and turn up profits. Well, again, if you're good. And it helped pave the way for films like Logan in the future, which is always a plus. And in terms of the film itself, it's a really good movie. It's very funny. You know, this version of Deadpool's a lot more entertaining than the one we barely got to see in X-Men Origins. Yeah, and all the supporting characters are pretty good too. I mean, the plot is typical, but people go to a Deadpool movie. They go to a Deadpool movie really for more like the fourth wall breaking humor and the action and the sword play, and they got that. And the plot itself isn't bad. It's just kind of, you know,
Basic.
there. Yeah, it's a basic plot. You know, it exists mainly to do comedic stuff. Unfortunately, the comedic stuff is very good.
Yeah, in a way, it's kind of like the actual Deadpool video game. Makes sense.
Yeah. Now, in some ways, I do prefer this movie, but whereas I prefer the sequel. But so we'll get to that when we get to that. But overall, Deadpool 1 was a very good start. And in terms of Fox-related movies, this was a huge step up from the one that came out the previous year. Which I will not mention, but you can watch our commentary of it if you want. But anyway, that was Deadpool 2016. Enjoyed our commentary and the movie. We certainly did. Join us in the future for not quite Deadpool 2. First, we got to do the short that came out around the same time Logan did, except in Britain. Deadpool No Good Deed. So we'll see you then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.